I woke up to a miracle today. Triggers stay as I find my way. No judgment to lead astray. In this peaceful state I'll stay.
Welcome back to A Course in Miracles in Practice. We are continuing our journey through the workbook, and today's exploration, it gets into something pretty fundamental. Lesson 294.
That's right. The lesson for today is, my body is a wholly neutral thing.
A wholly neutral thing. That's quite a statement, isn't it?
It really shifts things. We're so glad you're joining us to look into this concept, because it truly changes how we relate to, well, everything. Ourselves, the world.
The core idea, and the Course keeps things simple but profound, is that the body itself doesn't carry any built-in meaning.
No inherent value. It isn't automatically good or bad, not holy, not sinful. It's just neutral. Completely neutral.
And as always, we find these lessons can bring up a lot for people. Questions, maybe resistance, sometimes moments of clarity.
Definitely.
So if this lesson resonates with you, or if you're finding it challenging, please do share your experience. We genuinely love hearing how this material is showing up in your life.
You can always email us. The address is ACIM, that's ACIM, at theworldharmonyproject.org.
We read every message, and it helps us understand what parts of the Course are needing more exploration.
It does. Okay, let's start by reading the lesson itself.
A good idea.
I'll start. Lesson 294. My body is a wholly neutral thing. I am a son of God. And can I be another thing as well? Did God create the mortal and corruptible? What use has God's beloved Son for what must die? And yet a neutral thing does not see death, for thoughts of fear are not invested there, nor is a mockery of love bestowed upon it. Its neutrality protects it while it has a use.
Okay, picking up there. And afterwards, without a purpose, it is laid aside. It is not sick, nor old, nor hurt. It is but functionless, unneeded, and cast off. Let me not see it more than this today. Of service for a while and fit to serve, to keep its usefulness while it can serve, and then to be replaced for greater good.
And the final part. My body, Father, cannot be your son, and what is not created cannot be sinful nor sinless, either good nor bad. Let me then use this dream to help your plan that we awaken from all dreams we made.
There's so much packed into those short paragraphs.
There really is.
So let's dive into the core discussion. It starts right at the beginning, doesn't it? The declaration, I am a son of God. That's the foundation.
That's our true identity. Unchanging, eternal, whole. It's the non-negotiable reality according to the Course.
But then immediately, the lesson hits that core human dilemma with the question, and can I be another thing as well?
Ah, yes. That captures the whole ego trip, doesn't it? That feeling of being both spirit and this temporary body.
Like we're trying to live in two completely different realities at once.
We spend so much energy trying to juggle the immortal with the mortal, the constant with the decaying. It's an impossible task.
And that attempt to hold on to both identities, that's where the suffering comes in, right? If we think we are the body.
And we're automatically limited, separate, vulnerable to attack, to getting sick, and ultimately to death.
The Course is just so clear on this point. We aren't the body. We are the awareness, the mind, the spirit. The body is something we're using.
Using for a specific temporary purpose within this dream, a corrective purpose.
We're using it, not being it. That's a huge distinction.
It underpins everything. And this leads right into the theological point about creation. The lesson asks pointedly, did God create the mortal and corruptible?
And the answer the Course gives is a clear no. God creates only spirit, only what is eternal, like God's self.
Since the body is mortal, corruptible, subject to change and decay, it follows that it wasn't part of God's original creation.
This is so fundamental. The body, and really the whole physical universe we perceive, is presented as part of the ego's thought system, a product of the idea of separation.
The ego made the body, you could say, as its primary evidence. Evidence that we're separate, walled off, confined to this little spot. Proof that we can be victims or victimizers.
So if it doesn't have a divine origin,
then it can't have inherent qualities. That's the logic. It can't be inherently good or bad, sinful or holy.
Those are judgments.
Judgments projected by the mind onto the body. When we label a body sinful, we're basically splashing our own guilt onto it.
And when we admire a body, maybe see it as perfect or beautiful.
Same process, different flavor. We're projecting pride, maybe a desire for specialness, onto the form, attaching meaning where there isn't any.
So neutrality means the body just returns to being matter.
Functional, rather than meaningful in an egoic sense. When the mind stops plastering labels all over it, good, bad, ugly, attractive, strong, weak, it just is.
That must free up a lot of energy. The constant evaluation, the push and pull of pride or shame about it.
Yeah, the freedom neutrality offers. And you can feel this, can't you, experientially, when the mind gets quiet.
Yeah, like you notice sensations, maybe an ache or the warmth of the sun on your skin.
But there's no story attached.
Right, no commentary running about what it means. It's not, oh, this ache means I'm getting old, or this warmth feels good, but it'll probably give me wrinkles. It just is.
That lack of commentary is the neutrality in practice.
Yeah.
You stop fighting the form because you stop giving it the power to define you.
I had a really clear experience with this a few years ago. I injured my foot, nothing major, but enough to sideline me for a bit. And initially, I was furious.
At the foot?
At the foot, at the situation, at the limitation. It felt like this stupid little body part was dictating my whole life, stopping me from doing things. It felt like a betrayal.
That sounds familiar. The mind layers on so much meaning. Anger, self-pity, frustration.
And that mental stuff makes the physical feeling so much worse, doesn't it? It adds this heavy burden of judgment.
It really amplifies everything.
I realized eventually that I was basically demanding my foot prove I was still capable, still strong. I was asking the body to validate my ego.
Asking the form to perform for your sense of worth.
That was it. And when I finally managed to shift my focus, when I stopped demanding performance and just accepted, okay, this is a time for rest, maybe a time to learn some peace despite the limitation, it changed everything.
How so?
The recovery felt easier, less fraught. The pain wasn't gone, but it stopped being this big personal insult. It just became a signal. Okay, time to elevate or time to rest. I started listening to the body's needs instead of fighting its limitations.
That shift from demanding to listening. That's huge. It's using the situation for peace instead of proof.
Yeah.
I went through something similar, though, maybe from a different angle. Years back, I had a thyroid issue that just left me utterly drained, physically weak, constantly fatigued.
Oh.
It was challenging, but the worst part wasn't the physical feeling itself. It was the constant mental beatdown I was giving myself.
What kind of thoughts?
Things like, what's wrong with you? Get it together. You're so weak. You should be able to push through this. Just relentless self-judgment.
Blaming yourself for the body's condition.
Completely. Until it got so bad, I ended up in the ER, just totally depleted.
Yeah.
And somewhere in that forced stillness, it clicked. The suffering wasn't the fatigue. It was my resistance to the fatigue, my guilt about the fatigue.
Okay, but let me push back a little here. Because someone listening might think, well, if the mind is primary, why couldn't you just think yourself better? Why did the body still have limits?
That's such an important question. And it highlights why the Course focuses on changing the purpose of the body, not necessarily trying to magically control the form itself.
So it's not about suddenly levitating or healing instantly just by thinking it.
Not typically, no. The body exists within this dream, this illusion of limitation. The Course isn't primarily about making the illusion behave exactly as we want. It's about finding peace within the illusion, regardless of how it appears. My body did have a physical limit at that time.
But the suffering wasn't inherent in the limit.
Right. The suffering came from the story I told myself about the limit, the story of failure, of weakness, of guilt. When I finally accepted the physical reality without the mental attack,
You could rest.
I could rest without the guilt. I could let the body do what it needed to do, which was heal and recover, because the mind stopped fighting it. That's the peace. Recognizing my identity wasn't tied to my energy levels.
And that connects back to that line in the lesson. Its neutrality protects it while it has a use. How does that protection work?
The protection isn't like a physical shield. It's protection from the mind's attack. The Course suggests that fear, guilt, attack thoughts. These are the mental precursors to what manifests as sickness or vulnerability in the body.
So if the mind sees the body as neutral,
It can't invest fear there. Fear needs a target it believes is real, valuable, and vulnerable. If you see the body as just atoms, a temporary learning device, the fear loses its grip. It can't latch on.
the protection is immunity from the mental cause of distress.
And when we stop seeing the body as this thing we constantly need to defend, or maybe even attack through neglect or judgment,
It just becomes functional.
purely functional, and its highest function, its purpose aligned with the Holy Spirit, is communication,
Communication of love, connection.
forgiveness, shared purpose. It stops being a wall that proves our separateness.
And becomes a bridge.
A bridge back to the awareness of union. Simple things, a gentle touch, a calm presence, a kind word, even just sharing a quiet moment. These use the body to convey the Holy Spirit's message. We are joined, not separate.
And if that's the body's purpose, then how we see other bodies must change too, right?
Dramatically. All those differences, we focus on how someone looks, their age, their abilities, race, gender.
They become kind of irrelevant.
What matters is the purpose it's being used for.
So when I look at another person, instead of judging the form, I can recognize that this body, just like mine, could be used to extend love, to wake up.
That recognition dissolves the judgment, the comparison. The only shared characteristic that truly matters is that every single body, because it's neutral, is available to serve the one purpose of awakening together.
Okay, this leads us to maybe the most challenging part of the lesson for many people, the end of the body. The Course says it's laid aside, functionless, unneeded, and cast off. And then, crucially, it is not sick, nor old, nor hurt.
That's such a radical departure from how the world sees death, isn't it? As this ultimate tragedy, this failure, this painful decay.
The Course offers this vision of peaceful completion. The body doesn't fail or collapse due to time or disease necessarily. It stops being needed.
The mind, the learner, has completed the lessons that required that particular form. The belief that maintained it is withdrawn.
The mind decides, perhaps not consciously, that the classroom here is complete.
And the body is simply let go. It fulfilled its function.
In that phrase, replaced for greater good, that reframes everything. It's not a loss.
It's like putting down a tool you no longer need, or finishing a chapter in a book. The story, the learning continues without interruption, just not in that specific form anymore.
This takes the horror out of it. If the body is neutral, its disposal is also neutral. It can't be sick, old, or hurt in its essence because those are meanings we project onto it.
When the mind's purpose for it ends, those projections are withdrawn, and the form just ceases.
How does this understanding help us when we see suffering or death around us? Does it make us callous?
Quite the opposite, I think. It allows for deep, genuine compassionate, practical care for the person, for the form, without buying into the illusion that the eternal self, the Son of God, can actually be harmed.
So you can offer love and support without the terror.
Without the terror, without the despair that comes from believing this temporary form is all there is. Your love is directed at the eternal being, expressed through caring for the temporary form.
That feels like immense relief. It frees us from this desperate clinging to the body, trying to make it last forever.
We can care for it functionally, responsibly, allowing it to serve its purpose for as long as needed, without making it an idol or the source of our identity. It's a release from the fear of time and decay.
Okay, this theoretical understanding is powerful, but bringing it into daily life is the real practice. We actually got a listener question that speaks directly to this.
Perfect. Let's hear it.
This listener writes, I habitually identify with my body, and I definitely don't see it as neutral. I need help applying the Course to help me with this.
Oh, yes. That resonates, doesn't it? Who doesn't struggle with this? The body feels so immediate, so real.
It's the ego's star witness. It seems to prove separation every second. I stop here at my skin, you start over there. My hunger is mine, your pain is yours.
And that habit of identification creates this loop, right? The mind believes in separation, projects judgments onto the body. I'm too fat, I'm not strong enough, I look old, or even I look great.
And then the body, through its feelings or how it looks in the mirror, seems to confirm those judgments. See? I told you so. It reinforces the belief that we are this separate, flawed, or maybe special physical thing.
The way out of that loop starts when you catch the projection happening, when you realize the body is just reflecting the mind's content.
Like a screen.
Every judgment about the body is actually showing you a belief in your mind. Shame about appearance points to underlying feelings of unworthiness. Pride and physical strength might be covering up a fear of inadequacy.
So the body isn't causing the feeling, it's just displaying it.
It's displaying the mental conflict. Seeing the thought behind the feeling about the body, that's what starts to loosen the identification. You stop blaming the screen for the movie playing on it.
You realize you're using the body like a diary for all your unhealed thoughts.
That's a great way to put it. And when you stop blaming it or worshiping it, you free it up.
Free it up for its real purpose.
For communication, for demonstrating peace. And you remember that the healing, the correction, happens in the mind, not by trying to force the body to be different.
The body will still age, feel things, get injured sometimes.
Sure, those are features of the dream. But your peace doesn't have to depend on the body's state anymore. That's the freedom.
So the practical answer for the listener, and for all of us, is consistent practice in withdrawing meaning from the body.
Patiently, moment by moment.
Let's make this really concrete. Maybe we can walk through some specific everyday situations and apply Lesson 294 directly, like 7 steps to practice neutrality.
I like that. 7 practical ways to interrupt that habit of identification. Seeing the body as a messenger, not the message itself.
Okay, step 1. Let's talk about pain or fatigue. This comes up all the time.
It does.
Yeah.
And the immediate ego reaction is often resistance, right? Ugh, this headache again, or I can't believe I'm so tired, or maybe even pushing through it aggressively.
Judging it as wrong or as a personal failing.
That resistance, that judgment, that's the layer we can address. The sensation itself is just information. So the practice is to pause before the reaction kicks in.
And replace the habitual thought.
Replace "my body's letting me down" or "I have to fight this" with something like, "this body is signaling that I need rest. Resting now lets the mind return to calm." Or maybe, "this sensation is present. I can be aware of it without adding a story of complaint."
You're not denying the feeling, but you're removing the judgment about the feeling.
And you're seeing it as a signal for care, not a sign of defect. It's about treating the body like a functional tool that needs maintenance, not an enemy or an idol. Whether you criticize it for weakness or push it too hard out of pride, both are ego investments.
Allowing rest without guilt seems key here. Your value isn't based on physical performance.
Okay, step 2, judging appearance. The mirror, a classic battleground.
Oh, yes. We use it constantly to check our value, don't we? Am I okay? Am I acceptable? Am I attractive enough, or too much this or not enough that?
And the practice here is similar. Catch the judgment forming. As you look in the mirror or just worry about how others see you, gently remind yourself, this image is neutral. My purpose now is to express kindness, not perfection.
Kindness towards myself or towards others.
Both, really. Kindness is the expression of a peaceful mind. The focus shifts from evaluating the form to embodying the function, which is love, presence, connection.
So whether I like the reflection or dislike it, both thoughts reinforce the idea that appearance matters fundamentally.
They both give power to the image. Stepping back from the mirror, literally or mentally, and reconnecting with your purpose in that moment. Am I here to worry about wrinkles, or am I here to be present with this person? That withdraws the investment. The image becomes secondary, neutral.
Okay. Step 3, movement and exercise.
Another area ripe for ego involvement. Competition, performance, pushing limits out of pride.
Or maybe avoiding movement out of shame or feeling inadequate.
Right. The trap is using movement to prove something about the self. So when you walk, stretch, exercise, watch for those thoughts of striving, comparison, or self-criticism.
And replace them.
Reframe the purpose. Instead of "I need to burn X calories" or "I need to beat my previous time," think, movement can express joy and presence. I'll let it be an act of gratitude.
Gratitude for the body as a tool that allows movement.
It's not about achieving a physical goal to boost the ego, but about using the body to communicate a sense of peace and presence through movement.
I like that. Movement as communication, not striving.
Yeah.
Okay, step 4, illness and injury. We touched on this with our examples.
When the body is limited by illness or injury, the mind often goes into overdrive with stories. Blame, fear, comparison, why me, narratives of loss.
The practice here is about finding stillness.
Stillness of the mind. It means actively choosing not to engage with the ego's running commentary. Catching the self-blame, catching the comparisons, catching the catastrophizing, and letting those thoughts go without investment.
So, not necessarily forcing yourself to feel happy about being sick, but refusing to add mental suffering on top of the physical discomfort.
That's a good way to put it. In that quiet space, free from the mind's attack, peace can be recognized. And the body, unburdened by that mental stress, can do what it needs to do. Rest, heal more effectively. Trust the mind's peace and let the form follow.
Step 5, comparing bodies. This happens constantly, doesn't it? Consciously or unconsciously.
All the time. We look at others and immediately assess, compare. Am I thinner, fatter, younger, older, more attractive, less fit?
Finding evidence for our own judgments about ourselves.
So the practice is to pause the moment you notice that comparative thought bubbling up. Just stop and remind yourself. Perception shows what the mind believes. What I see out there reflects my own internal state.
If I see someone as better, I'm projecting my own sense of lack. If I see them as worse, I'm projecting my own fear or judgment.
Right, and the invitation is to withdraw all judgment. Recognize that every single body you see, no matter its appearance or condition, serves the potential purpose of awakening. Connect with that shared purpose, and the physical differences lose their charge.
Okay, step 6, eating. Another big one. So much guilt, shame, pride, and rules wrapped up in food.
The ego loves to turn basic bodily functions into moral dramas. Diet culture thrives on this.
So as we eat, the practice is to watch the mental commentary again.
Watch for the guilt over the bad food or the pride over the good food. Both are judgments assigning moral weights where there is none. Remind yourself, eating can be neutral too. The only question is, what purpose does my mind give this moment?
Is the purpose nourishment and maybe simple enjoyment? Or is it self-punishment or self-congratulation?
Seeing the act itself is neutral. The body needing fuel removes the ego's power over it. It becomes simple care for the tool, not a reflection of your spiritual status or worth. Peace isn't found in the perfect diet. It's found in the mind that isn't judging the eating.
Makes sense. Okay, final step. Step 7. Embarrassment or self-consciousness. Those moments when we feel the body has betrayed us publicly.
Tripping, spilling something, saying the wrong thing, suddenly feeling aware of a perceived flaw. The ego jumps on these moments.
Creates a whole story. Everyone saw, I'm so clumsy, I look foolish.
Exactly. The practice is to recognize that story as a story generated by the mind about a neutral event. When you feel that flush of shame or self-consciousness, gently tell yourself, the mind made a story about what just happened. I can step back and let it go.
Acknowledge the feeling, perhaps, but don't buy into the narrative that the physical event defines you or diminishes you.
The ego hides in both shame and pride. Releasing the story means seeing the event itself had no inherent meaning. You step back into the awareness that is untouched by the slip-up. The body is neutral. The mind's reaction is optional.
These 7 steps feel very practical. They're about consistently applying the lesson's core idea in real time.
They are practices in changing how the mind uses the body. Each time we choose neutrality over judgment, we weaken the identification and move closer to experiencing the body as simply a helpful, temporary instrument for awakening.
So, wrapping up this exploration of Lesson 294, we've covered quite a bit. The core meaning of neutrality, the body wasn't created by God. It's an ego artifact. Hence, it lacked inherent qualities.
We looked at how this neutrality protects it, not physically, but by making it immune to the mind's fearful investments, which the Course links to sickness, and how this frees it to be a tool for communication, a bridge for love.
We also spent time on that challenging but ultimately peaceful view of the body's end, not as decay or tragedy, but as being gently laid aside when its purpose is done. The learning continues uninterrupted. Our true self remains untouched.
And the listener's question really helped us ground this in practice. Undoing the habit of identifying with the body isn't about changing the body. It's about changing the mind's projections onto the body.
It feels like once we start confusing ourselves with this form, taking care of it becomes simpler, less emotionally charged, less guilt, less striving.
It becomes functional care rather than existential validation. We don't need the body to last forever because we are eternal.
That's a powerful thought to hold on to.
And perhaps a final thought for you to take away from this exploration. Remember, the peace you're seeking, the peace the Course guides us toward, isn't located in the body. It isn't dependent on the body feeling good or looking a certain way. It's the constant, steady awareness of love within your mind. That's your reality. The body is just the communication device you're using for a little while.
Thank you for joining us for this exploration today. It's always illuminating to walk through these lessons together.
We hope you found it helpful.
Please join us next time as we continue our journey with Lesson 295. Until then, go in peace.